everyone. I have shared with you a digital hall pass. This is something that I'm planning on using in my classroom, and I thought I might share it with you all in case you wanted to use it too. If you look at the email I sent you, you should see the hall pass. It will be a view-only document for you guys. So click on File and make a copy right away. You can name it really whatever you want. I'm going to call mine a digital hall pass, so that I can find it later, and then click OK. It should load in another tab. It may take a minute because it has lots of coding that kind of goes with it. Once it loads, you should see this first tab, which is the actual hall pass. And then at the bottom of the screen, you should see the tutorial tab, the search tab, the reasons tab, and the roster tab. We're actually going to start with the roster tab. So if you click on that, it should take you to a screen that looks similar to mine. It's set up for high school, but really elementary school teachers, if you want to use it, you can just fill in the first period roster as your homeroom. And then if you do switch classes this year, then you can add, second and third periods as needed, that kind of thing. So I'm just going to copy and paste from Skyward into my roster here for each period. Now our Skyward is not quite ready to go, so I'm going to just put myself in as a student in first period, okay? Once I have all of my rosters completed, then there's going to be a couple of things I'm going to have to do in the Tools setting. So click on Tools, and then go down to Script Editor. Now, don't let this next page freak you out. It's got lots of coding on it, but we don't have to touch this page at all. So as it loads here, so we don't want to mess with any of this. Instead, up here underneath the Run tab is this little clock-looking speech bubble kind of thing. We're going to click on that. Now, if you are doing this on a computer at school, it's going to ask you permissions. So a box will pop up asking, which Google account. You'll choose your West Google account. It'll ask for a couple of other things that you're going to want to allow for all of those. Now, if a red box pops up and says something about the script error, it's because you have your pop-up blocker on. So go turn that. You have your pop-up blocker off. Or the pop-ups are off. So go turn it on where you can get pop-ups because those the screen where you can allow it to use your account is a pop-up. It'll only do it once, and once it's done, you're fine for the rest of the project here. Okay, so once you've done all of the allowance pieces, you should see this screen. We are going to add down here in the bottom right-hand corner with the blue button, we're going to add 4 triggers. So we're going to do this 4 times. So I'm going to click here. And we're just going to concern ourselves with this first box at the top and this last box at the bottom in the left-hand column, okay? The first box, I'm going to click on the drop-down menu and I'm going to go to On Edit To. And then this last box, I'm going to change it to On Edit. And then I just have to scroll down. Oh, come on, laptop. Can we scroll down? Well, the computer isn't cooperating. There we go. Scroll down and hit the save button. Okay. Again, it might pop up asking you for an allowance. Click on your account. And then again, allow. Again, this will only happen one time. Okay. And if the red box pops up, your pop-up blocker is on. Okay. So this is our first trigger we've just added. If you messed it up, no worries. There is an edit button over here on the right-hand side. Okay. So we're going to do this 3 more times. We're going to click on Add Trigger. Again, we're only concerning ourselves with this top box and this bottom box. The top box this time, though, we are going to go to On Edit 3 and then change that last box to On Edit again. Scroll down if it's cooperating with me. There we go. And click Save. That should be our second trigger. We're going to add a third. Again, that top box, we're just going to go down the list. We're going to install Able On Edit. And then the last box, we're going to change again to on edit. We're starting to see a theme pop up here. Click on save. That's the third. And then the fourth one is the very last option in this first drop-down box, that install able on edit to. And then we're going to change it to on edit. Again, scroll down. Ooh, come on. Laptop. There we go. Save. Okay, so what I should see on this trigger screen is 4 different triggers: an install on edit 2, an on edit 3, an on edit 2, and an install on edit. Okay. Once these triggers are complete, we can actually exit out of this tab. We can exit out of the coding tab. And we're back now in our digital hall pass. Okay. Now that I've completed those triggers, I can go to the pass tab at the bottom. It takes me to the hall pass. And I'm going to pretend like my student that I added to my first period roster, maybe this kid needs to go to the nurse. So for reasons, I can click here and it's going to list these that I've preloaded. You can actually change these by going down here to the reasons tab and just adding to my list here or taking things away. Back on the pass tab, we know that Jarra Exum is going to the nurse. So I'm going to give it just a couple of seconds and it will generate the timeout and the date. Then let's say well, actually, we'll come back to this. Let's go to the tutorial tab and take a look at that for just a minute. So the tutorial tab down at the bottom kind of works the same way. If a kid comes in for tutorials and I know they're in first period, and give it a second to generate my drop-down menu for my roster. There's Jarra right there. And she has checked in at, let's see, that time on that day. And then if she stays for a little while for tutorials, or maybe she doesn't, maybe she stays for just a minute or two, I can immediately check her out. It will generate the timeout and the total time that she spent in tutorials. I can even add comments over here. And I made it turn green. Wait, baby, I'm videoing. I made it turn green so that we knew that child had left the room. So if I get to the end of tutorials and I still have some kids that aren't green, they're still sitting in my room and I need to run them out. So that's kind of that way. Now, going back to the pass tab, I wanted to come back because I wanted a little bit of time to go by, because I wanted you to see that when you click on check in, it generates the time that they were out. So I was actually at the nurse for 1 minute. Okay. And the great thing about using this pass tab and this tutorial tab is we can keep up with where kids are going and where they've been and who they've been around. Because now what I can do in this middle tab, the search tab, is I can go here, I can put in first period, I can pull up my roster, it's got Jarra in it, and then I can over here change the type. I can do pass, tutorial, or both. So maybe Jarra has come down with coronavirus and I need to know, who they were in tutorials with, because I know she came to tutorials sometime this week. So I can run this and it will list the dates and times that she was in tutorial. Let's do tutorials, sorry. It will list dates and times that she was in tutorials. Okay. And then for the pass, it will list dates and times that she was out of my class. So I know, she went to the bathroom that day, that she went also home with corona. So maybe somebody else has been to the bathroom. So this was just an interesting way that I could keep up with where kids are and how much time they've spent out of my class and in my class, in case we need documentation for any of that. So I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I will even make house calls if I need to help you out. But I think hopefully this video is self-explanatory. I hope you have a good evening.